everybody, welcome back. It's April 23rd. I have a friend of mine that has been knocking on my door, has been and heavy on my heart. Derek was murdered 5 weeks ago, and so was the friend that he had with him. Upon learning of his death, I instantly contacted him and I sat down at my computer and I just typed while he told me the details. This is so breathtaking. It does. It just deflates the lungs to hear it. I can feel him. You guys, my viewers, you cannot feel him or feel what I feel. However, even without my ability to hear a story, you're going to feel something. So, welcome, Derek. Thanks, Andrea. I guess I'll start with what happened. So me and my friend, I'd known her for a long time. We didn't hang out a lot, but she wanted to go to the casino and I was headed that way, so I picked her up and I took her with me. I had a Ford Explorer. The stereo was bumping. I had money in my pocket, and I was just glad to not spend another evening alone without company. So I was excited. Life was good. So we entered the casino about probably about 10:30, closer to 11 p.m. I was sitting pretty good with cash. I had about $3,500 on me. This is where fate takes a turn, I think. Well, Andrea, you remember how I am. Like if I'm tired or whatever, I've been gambling. He kind of gets in a trance state, but he's got his money in it's like a roll, like cash, a lot of it, on his lap, wide open, while he kind of falls asleep or is just zoning out. It's not hard. You walk by, you're going to see the man has a lot of cash. Andrea, remember you used to bump me and go, "Let's go. If you're not going to stay awake, we're leaving. You can't leave this money out like that." But so this is the same thing. The same thing was happening. I don't steal from anybody. I earn my money. I just don't figure that anybody's wanting to steal mine. Anyways, that's just who I am, Andrea. So we gambled until about 3 a.m., upon which I had well over $4,000 when we left the casino. She won, I think, $200 after the 40 that I gave her, or from the 40 that I gave her. So she was up 160, and that was bitching, and I was happy. I was happy to go too when she was ready to go, because the longer I stayed, the better the chances that I would lose that, the money that I did win. So we go back to my car, which was a Ford Explorer, jacked up. He's gloating on his rims, and his tires were really nice, and the music, the boombox, the speakers in it were just phenomenal. My ride was new to me, but I'd had it long enough to trick out the stereo system and to put good wheels on it. It was almost to the state of pimping, but it still needed a little more work, paint job. which I was gonna do next. Was the paint. So we get in, and instead of turning right outside the parking lot, which would have taken her home or my place or whatever, where we live, instead we decided we'd turn left and just go out to there's farm roads not far from the casino for a lot of miles. It's somewhere you could find a dirt road, park on it, watch the stars, chit chat. She had still had a bottle of it was Jägermeister. She had to have a bottle still, and but we figured we'd just let's go park and drink and talk, and our night we weren't ready to go home. So no problem, and I turn left. I turn on the stereo and we're bumping and life's good. So we turn off the road that the casino's on, and we turn left and we go down. We go down another road that crosses Bear River. It's like a little brook, little bridge. But we're really furthering ourselves from any houses that are close together, and it just becomes more and more crops and land spotted with small houses here, there, maybe. Anyways, I get to Kempton Road and we turn left because, okay, it's probably about 6 miles from the casino, and I smoked pot. I was ready to roll a joint and just kick it with my friend, maybe have a drink. And it was a place that even if we wanted to fall asleep, we could. It was safely off the road. Not a lot of traffic for our car to interfere with or disturb. So I turn it off. It looks like I pull off the road, and it's gravel. It's pretty wide. It's as wide as my vehicle twice. Lots of room off the road. And we sat, and I turned off the engine. Had the radio going, but really low. I had grabbed my red bag from the back seat, and I put it on my lap. So I recount my money and put it in there, and then also find the rolling papers for my joint that I was gonna roll and smoke with my friend. I do carry a firearm. I had a 9mm Glock. It was also in my red bag. So I got the rolling papers out. My friend had the pot. So the money in the gun, I zipped the zipper back up, and I kind of tossed it in the back seat in the middle somewhere. I had looked once in my rearview mirror to see if there's any traffic at all, any headlights. I didn't see any. From that moment on, I looked down. My eyes did not hit that rearview mirror again, and that's where I definitely, that's out of character for me. I'm always watching. I just didn't. So we're rolling a joint. The song changes. We turn it up a little bit. I give her a hit of the joint. She gives me a drink of the booze, and we're just being company. We're having fun. It's a good time. We both had something to celebrate. We both have more money than when we went there. She had all kinds of plans she was telling me about. And a mile a minute, we caught each other up with how we've been doing and what's been going on. And I guess we were there. We couldn't have been there 15 minutes when the moment the vibe was disturbed with two slamming of doors, car doors, definitely behind us. By the time I could look in the rearview mirror to see what was happening, there were two taps on both sides of the front windows of my Explorer. I looked out the window and I saw a gun. I looked out her window to my right and I saw a gun, and so did she. Tap, tap, tap. We're both staring at guns through the glass. Stay cool, Derek, stay cool. Keep you safe, keep her safe, stay cool. Find out what they want. Roll your window just down. Or roll your window down. She needed to do it because the dual part on the driver's side panel did not work. So it was kind of like we didn't say 1, 2, 3, go, but we just willingly did what they said. Roll the windows down. Those windows rolled down. What's up? What's up, guys? What can I do for you? What's going on? That's what I said. Trying to maintain composure without looking afraid. More for the benefit of my friend to my right. When I saw the look between the two through the windows when they looked at each other, I knew then, without a doubt, that they were going to kill us. Not rob us, kill us. There was murder in their eyes. I knew we were both gonna die. I'm a pretty good judge of character and vibrations, and I was right on the money. So the driver, the gentleman, the shooter on my left at my window wanted me to get out of the car, told me to get out of the car, and he's pointing his gun like, come on. I just turned and looked at her. She looked scared out of her mind, and I just looked at her and I said, it's okay. I told her it was okay. I knew it wasn't okay, but I couldn't say anything but. So I got out of the car. At this point, they didn't ask for money, or it didn't appear like they were there for for stealing anything. Because of the look in their eye and their intentions was to kill us. So my friend's gunman stood outside the window on her side, while mine walked me in front of him on the gravel alongside of the road. My best estimate, 50 yards. It seemed like such a long walk. Because it was so long, it just never, okay, stop right there, It wasn't happening, and I was like, oh my, I was gonna die right then. The music, just before, I would say 5 yards before I was told to stop, the music in my vehicle blasted. I didn't hear the gunshot, or I didn't want to hear it through the loud music. However it went, however my mind processed it, I hadn't given up yet that she wasn't still alive. I wanted her to still be alive, so I acted as if. Finally, he said, "Stop right there. Put your hands above your head and turn around," which means to face him. I did exactly as he said, quite a distance in my vehicle, and I could hardly see. But for the inside dash lights and her shooter's flashlight, so I got nothing to lose as I stand here, and I got every reason to try. I said, "Look," I go, "don't hurt her. I'll do anything you want. I'll give you anything I have. Just don't hurt us. At least let her live." And he just stared at me, pointing a gun at me. I said, "I have $4,000. And a gun in my car. You can have it. You can have everything I have. Anything and everything I have. You can have the car. Just let us go." And it was then he thought for a minute. So he wasn't going to shoot me just then, because he told me to turn around and get to walking back. So I kept my hands up behind my head and walked in front of him. He said, "Keep on walking," as we passed my Explorer. So I did that. I'm not trying to get anyone upset. Behind my Explorer was their car. It was a Saturn. It was blue. It was like a light, kind of a really, it was a rattle can color. It was a spray paint color. It was not factory color. It was definitely rattle can, but it was a really good job. I could tell that whoever did that, they had the experience. In painting, only, if painting, car painting, only, they didn't have the proper equipment, but it was a good paint job. Put me in the back seat of the Saturn on the driver's side, and stood up with his elbows on top of the roof of the car, and called his buddy over. "Hey, come here." His buddy walks over to the passenger side of his car, and he put his hands up on the hood, so they're talking over the roof of the car. I can't really make out what they're saying, but I can make out what they're saying, because her shooter walks around the front of the car, which is the back of my Explorer, and walks up to my side, to the driver's side of my Explorer, opens the door, looks around, reaches his arm, I could see him, grabs the red bag, walks back over, shuts, did he shut the door? He shut the door. Brought the bag back to his friend, where they stood side by side on the driver's side. Only they've now got the red bag on the hood, and they opened it and they looked. Okay, so it checked out. I did have what I said I had. it didn't take long after they put the um, they zipped back up the red bag. The her shooter came around my side and opened the door and made me get out that way. Meanwhile, my shooter was walking around the back of his car and joining his partner. And just as he got over there, I had just stood up from getting out of the car. And then I feel the gun in my back walk. So now I'm on the passenger side of my Explorer. As I get to the passenger side window, told me to stop. When I stopped, I looked through the window. She had been shot in the head, right about here. Her entire shirt was soaked with blood. I knew she was dead. I was dumbstruck. They stopped me there because they wanted me to see the site. It was a gunshot that I heard. I just didn't want to. I couldn't take my eyes off of blood on the shirt and the horror that was going through my mind. And that's when I got another shove. Walk. I walked almost to the exact spot where I was earlier. So there I am, standing with my back to them, facing forward, hands like this. And her shooter says, "Turn around, now turn around." I turned around. All I could do was squeeze my eyes, shut my eyes, because I knew there's not going to be any talking. I'm dead. And I was. My shooter shot me. I was shot like right here. Almost the same place that my friend was shot. Only a little bit more inside not here, but more inside at the eye right there. And she was more like there. Anyways, they're both shot right in the face. My body dropped. Then I fell on my face, this side of my face. They didn't have